So the last few years, morning routines, self-help, and ways to improve your studying and your life have been really trending, and that has been the main topic on the internet for somehow. Or, well, at least on my Instagram feed. However, morning routines and this particular type of waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. don't actually help everybody, and I don't think they're the solution to many things. In this video, I will be sharing my honest opinion and experience from medical school on the morning routines and all of the sort of self-help and self-improvement stuff that apparently has to help you and has to help others, but at the end of the day it doesn't actually work for you or for, well, a lot of people like myself included. The main idea for this video was from Conor McGregor in a video that I watched from him. So basically he was talking about how he was training and the way he made it into the UFC. He wasn't the type of person to go early in the morning in the gym, and he wasn't really the first to be at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. But he said that the best workouts that he had were at night, and he would go at midnight and have a 3-hour workout, and that would be one of the best workouts he ever had. He's sharing 4 main points on how I actually managed to get through med school. They weren't the perfect types, but it was more suited for me and more easier for me. And even though I tried all the other morning routines, they didn't help me as much as the ones that I tried to do it for myself. So first point that I mentioned is that do the fun first and then go studying, which is really controversial because everybody says that, oh, you have to do the studying first, you have to wake up straight away and do 150 Anki cards and like thousands of whatever, do the lecture, do this and that. When I wake up, the city is really alive and everything's happening and everybody's really happy and like everybody's around, and it might be sunny, it might be a little bit snowing and might make you happy. And in summer especially, you don't really want to do that much in the morning. I would rather get a coffee and do something than start studying at 8 in the morning. Of course, there are times where you have to log in and just push through it and you're at 8 a.m. in the library doing something. The have fun first and do the studying later means that in the morning I would go to the gym, have a coffee with friends, meet some friends, maybe do something that I found interesting, or there was a new thing I was learning and I would do that first. Or maybe I would work, because throughout medical school I had to work, and I would work from 8 in the morning till 1 o'clock, and after that I would go to the library or go home. And the second point is that you have to make your environment right. Conor McGregor mentions that also, that having this sort of environment with the right people will make it easier for you. If you're a night owl and you're just hanging around with early birds, then you're gonna have a problem, because you're gonna feel that you're missing out, that you're not doing enough, that you should wake up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. like some people do, and do it. So first of all, the people have to be similar to you, because if you don't have the work schedule and if you don't have the same habits, then you're gonna have a problem with that. But find your own habits and find your own environment. I can for the life of me study at home. I'm not the type of person to just like pop up at the desk, sit down, write things and learn from the laptop. I can't study at home. I've tried many times. It doesn't work. I will be useless and I will be less productive. That doesn't mean I'm not disciplined. Okay, it may do, but still at the end of the day, it's more the environment that I could control and have a better output than trying to push myself and be this. So the third point is that when you're studying for longer exams, you will compare yourself, like everybody else, to people who are also studying for that same exam. Your way of studying and your tempo may not be the same with others, and probably isn't. If you're the type of person who can just sit down and go through it one step after the other, then go for it. For me, it was a little bit all over the place, and studying is more chaotic than most people. So having an understanding that other people have really other tempo and sort of studying shouldn't discourage you or shouldn't make you uncertain in yourself. For me, studying is all over the place. I don't go step by step always. That was a problem which I fixed to some extent. But if I see that I need a topic from day 50 of the study plan, I will do that, and I might be on day 20. So don't have a problem to have your own plan and stick to it, as long as you know that you've managed to get everything on the plan and that you can get it on time. And the last point is that first plan, when you're doing a plan, is that the plan is not going to go according to plan. It sounds paradoxical, and it may be to some extent, but if you're working part-time as a student, if you're doing anything else like hobbies and sports and having a social life, you will need this sort of flexibility. And all I mentioned beforehand, that having the fun first and doing the studying later, the environment and the type of plan that you will have for the study itself plays a big role in this. In some sense, I needed the flexibility because sometimes I would switch it all up and actually study in the morning because I know I needed to do something for my PhD and for my research. And maybe you're struggling a lot more as a student studying in a foreign country and a foreign language, and you need more time. And you have to be very understanding of that, because not everybody is smart as the person that you know, and not everybody takes the exact same time. Just because it takes you longer doesn't mean you're bad at it. It just means you need more longer and you'll need to put more effort. However, knowing that the plan will be flexible if you're doing a lot of things like I was doing, because I was doing work on the time, and I was also doing my PhD, and I had to go to sports, and my day was packed. So if I was preparing for the German licensing exam, which is the equivalent of the USMLE, I would go in the morning in the library, have lunch at 1, and I would have training for some sort of sport at 5, 6, or 7 sometimes. Sometimes I even had training at 10 at night till 11, because that's the only slot I could get because it was cheaper. So I will train at 11 at night and then go home and then have shower and go to bed at 11 and then start over again at 7 in the morning. Of course, you need a plan, but the plan has to be flexible in my eyes, especially when you're a student and when you're juggling with 100,000 things at the same time. Of course, when you have a job, and now when I'm finishing med school, just working in the hospital, I can see that it's a lot easier. It gets better. You don't have the sort of thinking that after you go home, you have to study, and it's a lot easier on you. You have actual free time. Of course, there's something you have to read up on, catch up on, but it's not as bad as it was in med school. Thank you very much for joining me on this video, and I hope the tips that I gave were helpful. I know they're a little bit unorthodox and a little bit different than what you would probably hear on all of social media, but at the end of the day, I wanted to say that doing things differently will get you still to the end, and doing things your way might be better and easier for you. So if you have any questions or anything, leave them down below.